Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin Bubble News channel. Bitcoin is crashing, and this is an emergency report because things are getting very scary. Right now, Bitcoin is moving under this goal that I talked about 2 days ago. So, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button to get the exact forecasts. Bitcoin prices are going down right now. As soon as Bitcoin broke this L value, its medium-term trend went down. The next clear goal is below this L value, which is the low. What will happen next though? You can see that I put this amount of liquidity above these prices. Just so you know, one of you asked me what unused liquidity is and why that was the goal of yesterday's video and the video before that. Wasted cash flow. Let's talk about that. First, let's talk about that. Not used cash. If Bitcoin is going up, it makes these kinds of false odds that it will go down. Once Bitcoin has made a higher long-term, or medium-term low, it starts to use these amounts of liquidity. If Bitcoin doesn't use all of its liquidity levels, the levels that are left to charge after Bitcoin has made a higher long-term low become unused liquidity levels that later become the next obvious targets when Bitcoin starts to go down. That's why this was the exact target. This low wasn't the target, it was what I predicted. There's nothing hard about that. We have marked the levels of availability on these charts right now. What do cash levels mean? Now let's switch to market structure and get a better look at this price action so you can see what the liquidity levels are. Let's begin with the first one. Fake Atwater to turn over and keep going down. Take a look. A lot of traders and buyers are lost here. A lot of people thought Bitcoin was going up, but it actually went down. Above this level, a lot of choices will be made based on feelings. In this case, the same thing that was going down went up. The same thing happened here, it went up, and the same thing was going wrong here. Then they started to make these patterns, and of course, choices above this level will be made based on strong emotions. But at the last level of liquidity, we saw a simple fake out that went down in the market structure. There was a fake out that went up and down again. The most important level is which one of these? Of course, it's the first or nearest level of the age value that you're seeing right now. This is because the first or nearest liquidity level usually reacts the best. However, Bitcoin can also use these levels. When Bitcoin is going down, the reaction usually comes above the nearest liquidity level. When Bitcoin is going up, on the other hand, liquidity levels would be like the ones I drew just now. In that case, this would be the closest amount of liquidity, so it's likely that Bitcoin will respond below the first liquidity level and start to go up about 70% of the time. That's how things work when Bitcoin is going up. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is now going down. The first level of funding I'm going to talk about. Pay close attention to this one. The next goal will be below this L value. But what is the situation as a whole? I'll tell you about that in a moment. But for now, check out these bonuses. New users can get up to $30,000 in welcome prizes, a $20 instant sign-up bonus, VIP status upgrades, and more. Have a look at these projects, which are one of a kind. Take this position airdrop operation as an example. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Also, if you use my link, you'll get a $30 bonus that no one else has. Okay, take a look at this one. I'm giving away $500 USD for free through the link in my explanation. In a different campaign, you might have the chance to win F1 trips, trade funds, or bonus Bitcoins. The more you deposit just $100 within 7 days, the more chances you have to win. You have more chances to win the more you trade or pay. If you want to start selling, there are links in the text. It's fun to trade because you can be a bull when Bitcoin is going up and a short when it's going down. It's that easy. Once this low is reached, the next clear goal will be below this L value. Again, use liquid at this L value. And that would be the next goal after that. This low gets run, and it's likely that this low will get run. But it looks like Bitcoin might already be using one of these funding levels right now. It doesn't have to, but it might since I told you 2 days ago that we had reached this goal. I'm taking this one down. I'm not shorting Bitcoin at these prices right now because I want to wait for these amounts of liquidity to be broken. It's clear that I'll be looking for opportunities to sell Bitcoin if it gets a good response above this level. You should think about taking short positions if you have a trade strategy, but only if you have a plan, because that's what's really important. Before you open a long or short trade, you should always have a plan. People told you you're just a bear, my bear, and other things like that, but I think you should know that Bitcoin has long-term, short-term, and medium-term trends. The long-term trend low is below this mark, which is 38,500. This took place more than 6 months ago. The long-term trend comes from how prices moved more than 6 months ago. I have more movies about this long-term trend if you want to watch them. Bitcoin is in a bull market right now, but the long-term trend is going down. Know the difference. And of course, Bitcoin could make these huge drops when its medium-term trend goes down. And right now, with these prices, we have so many cash levels that aren't being used. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if the long-term trend for Bitcoin kept going down. If you're an investor, you need to know that you will have to wait a long time for great long options. Traders, on the other hand, can make new deals every day. Now I understand why I like trading more. It makes a lot more money than just putting money into investments and hope for the best. I told you a couple of months ago that this is an interesting place to buy, and it did so well after that. There were also a lot of unused liquidity levels inside this swing, which I talked about a couple of months ago. This move to the downside was very inefficient because it left so many unused liquidity levels inside it. The same thing happened here. This move was very wasteful. It was quick, but it used up a lot of cash levels that weren't being used. And when Bitcoin makes these kinds of bad moves, it's not a good sign for Bitcoin bulls because it's likely that Bitcoin will start to fall. So when Bitcoin's trend is going up, it's going up very slowly. When I'm investing in Bitcoin, that's the best case situation I like to see. But it's not the best thing to see these kinds of moves.